Yo, what's up, guys? What's going on? A lot of emotion out there again today. We're going to get into some interesting stuff. All right. Sorry. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. What's going on out there? I want to start things off with a little post here from Colin Talks Crypto, one of my favorite YouTubers, right? One of my favorite analysts. Points out the chart. This is the weekly chart. So here we have the 50-week, right? Right here, this white line, 50-week simple moving average. Now, are we below it right now? Yes, we are. Of course we are, right? However, he sees a megaphone pattern is what he's pointing out, and he figures we're going to see a bounce, a big bounce, back above the 50-week moving average. Now, what I think could play out here, just like Colin thinks, is we're going to get a weekly close tonight below the 50-week, which is going to cause a panic sell-off, right? A lot of people are going to panic sell thinking we're going into a bear market. On the weekly time frame, I think we come back up, just like Colin thinks here, in this megaphone pattern on the weekly time frame. And we're going to bounce back up above the 50-week in, I don't know, anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks, right? We're going to bounce back up above it, and everybody who scoops up the low is going to be in massive profit, and everyone who panic sold will be buying at higher prices, right? That's a possible scenario. So, and that's what Colin sees, that's what I see. I want to know what you see. Do you think we're going to bounce off the bottom trend line of this megaphone pattern and get back above the 50-week? Or do you think we're going to break to the downside of this megaphone pattern and tumble down into a bear market? I want to know in the chat what you think is going to happen. Now, I would remind you of a couple of things, right? One, first off, we're still in a bullish structure. We're still in a descending channel here on Bitcoin. We still have a CME gap to fill between $104,000 and $110,000. Of course, we still have this little one between between $91,000 and $92,000 as well, right? And I've been telling you guys, I've been waiting for this dump down here to fill the CME gap between 91 and 92K. Been waiting for it, right? So, and then I'll be waiting for a potential move back up to fill the CME gap. That's a lot of people are forgetting that we have an empty CME gap up here that has to be filled as well, right? So there's that. You're making me hungry. What are you eating? I was actually just eating a little bit of sugar because I'm diabetic. So, so yeah. So I would remind you of that. We still have some bullish stuff to get into. And then also, let's have a look. Let's look at the RSI on the monthly time frame, right? We haven't even gotten into like oversold territory like we have in every other cycle. We haven't done that yet, guys, on the RSI. Not at all. The highest we got was about 77 on the RSI. Now, if you look back at other cycles, look at this. Back in the 2021 cycle, the RSI got up to 91, right? So on the monthly time frame, we haven't even hit overbought territory, really, at all, right? Just one more metric that has not gone off for the top of a cycle, right? We go down to the 12-hour, right? And what do we have on the 12-hour? Well, what do we have here? Boom. What's this here? Right? This downward structure. See that? Fill it in. And what do we have here on the RSI? Let me bring it up a little bit. What do we have on the RSI? Right? We have upward structure. Now, if you don't know what that is, That, my friends, is a bullish divergence. Okay? So we have a bullish divergence on the 12-hour for Bitcoin as well, indicating a bounce could be incoming, right? Just one more indicator. The fear and greed index is through the floor in extreme fear. One more bottom signal. The death cross has taken place, which is another bottom signal, local bottom signal. So very, very possible that we have seen a local bottom here, guys. There's a lot of indicators that are saying that, right? Just so you guys are aware. I know there's a lot of doom and gloom out there, but there's also a lot of metrics to be pointed at right now that say we're due for a bounce. That's why people like myself, Colin Talks Crypto, are calling for a bounce, right? So let's get into the super chats. What do we have? Daryl, in times like these, you can't control the markets, but you can control how you react to them. Find the positivity, y'all. Cheers, Rob. Absolutely, Daryl. But here's the funny thing about it. Some people think that I actually can control the markets. So, yeah. Jared, I appreciate all the hard work you put in helping guide the ones who want to learn to succeed, brother. Hey, absolutely, man. Absolutely, brother. Ari, I'm still bullish. Thank you for educating the community, Rob. No problem, Ari. No problem. Eli, what's up, buddy? I love how you explain how easy it would be for Miria's market cap to get back to 1 cent in your morning overview. Could happen in hours. Yes, exactly. But when the market has been beat up and it's down and all that stuff, people tend to lose perspective, right? And the doom and gloom takes over, and they feel like it's impossible. They start saying it's impossible for this to happen. The problem is most people who say stuff like that are not leaning on experience or education or anything like that. They're leaning on emotion. And that's fine. That's normal, right? It's normal to feel depressed and down and spiraling right now. But like Daryl said up here, it's how you conduct yourself and the choices that you make. You can feel as down in the dumps as you want. As long as you're not buying the highs and selling the lows, you'll be fine. You can feel upset and all that stuff. That's normal, right? So, little perspective. And just don't go around making a fool out of yourself. Like, don't go around attacking people on the internet and stuff like that because you're emotional, right? Because it never works out well in the end. You end up getting embarrassed. People end up calling you out on it, right? And then you get mad at them for calling you out on it. So just don't be that guy, right? Don't be that guy. WF Capital in the house. Let's go. Danny, what's happening, my dude? Millionaires weren't made in pumping markets. DCA is the way. Absolutely. Tel and Zebek will carry us until alt season. Let's go. The manipulation is totally out of control. Yes, 100% agree with that. Kizza, my dude. Hey, Rob, you got to be in it to win it. It's not all doom and gloom. Euphoric times will come back. We all need to remember that. The sentiment feels like crypto is dead. It definitely isn't. I agree. And I try to point that out. Whenever we do hit a phase of euphoria, I do try to remind everybody at that point how ridiculous they were acting when things were red and doomy and gloomy, right? Just so that they can have a little bit of a barometer on their behavior. Because as I often say, guys, when things are good in crypto, they're never as good as they seem. And when things are bad, they're never as bad as they seem. You have to remember that, right? William, what's up, buddy? Paul, good to see you, buddy. Fast Freddy's in the house. What's going on? Rise above. Hi ho, it's off to work I go. Yo, Rob, thank you for the morning update on the Patreon, man. I'm good to go. DCA, absolutely. Buying Caspa, Zebek, and Telcoin. Nice. Though, if you're going to buy Telcoin, not financial advice, but for me personally, I did a short this morning for the key levels on Telcoin. I would go watch that, and that will tell you where you should be looking for an entry point on Telcoin. All in on Zebek. Nice. You know what, Freddie? Absolutely. All in on Zebek. Derek here, Rob. I got my chips, but not my dip. Can I get my dip already? Chips with dip, brother. Almost to Reese status on Zebek. Got cash on the side, ready to deploy more into ZBEC. Yeah, here's the thing. I talked about this morning over on the Patreon. I believe that, again, we're going to close below the 50 week today, which is going to cause a panic sell-off. So I have some dry powder on the side right now waiting for that to happen later tonight, and then I'm going to scoop up that fear. So if you have dry powder right now, when you're thinking about DCAing today, it's not financial advice, guys, but it might not be the worst idea in the world to wait to see the response on the market of the weekly close before making any moves, right? That's what I would say. You don't want to buy right now and into your altcoins and then they drop 15% later tonight on a market crash, right? That would suck. So, Quentin, what's going on? Good to see you, brother. Wendy, this market is not over even if we close under the 50-week. Great chance to hold and buy more. Yes. I now have more ZBEC than everything I hold. Nice. Good project, man. I love me some ZBEC. Guys, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. It's absolutely free to do. What do we have here? We have 227 people watching. We have 64 likes, guys. It's like smashing me right in the old nutsack. Come on, hit the like button. Wendy says, hit the like and subscribe on the way in. Yes, Jared, oh no, I'm shaking in my little boots. I'm looking forward to more time to scoop up my conviction plays. Another day, another DCA. There you go. Wendy says, I'm looking forward to picking up more ZBEC and having a bigger bag. Exactly. Funky's in the house. The news is saying it is over. That means it's about to begin. Exactly, Funky. Exactly. They're selling us on the bottom, telling us it's over so that people panic sell, and then it pumps. Fast Freddy, are we shorting on ZBEC? You're going to have to go over to the Patreon. I actually put in 4 new trades today over in our trading group on the Patreon. So you're going to want to check those out, guys. Those are some great opportunities. And it's 50% off right now for new members. So get over there, guys. The link is in the chat. It's in the pinned comments. Check it out. Real Kev number 1 says being scared is for economic girly men. I hit Gary Daly says hit those likes or no bulls for you. Exactly. There she is, the one and only Gamma Goddess. Let's get this money. J Trade says ZBEC, Plume, Wormhole, Zora, keep adding to the current bags. Those are some great projects, brother. Great lineup you got there. Dave says, what's up, man? I'm waiting for some mofo to come kick my dog. Oh, House says, of course, YouTube keeps you down today. No. Yeah, go figure, eh? Go figure. What do we do, Rob? Fully believe we close below on purpose for, yeah, exactly. Lion's Den, you're making me hungry, Rob. Do you think this dip will stick around for a while? Yes, I do think that you're going to have at least, and probably 6 to 8 weeks. I wouldn't be shocked if we could buy at these levels. Splake bought more ZBEC, XCN, XPR, and XDB. XRP holding up good. Nice. Norbert, it's got to be the bull. Let's go. Over the top, support me over on Rumble. Guys, we're also streaming on Rumble. Make sure you're over there. Subscribed as well. Help us grow it out over there. My dude Isaac says, I sent you a few messages directly. Ignore them. I was being very undecided. I'm good now. No problem, brother. No problem. Will Jasmine hold 8.5 cents? You mean 2 zeros? 8.5? Probably not. If Bitcoin sweeps the lows of 91.92 to fill the gap, alts will go down a tiny bit more. Like I said, I think strong possibility, nothing certain, but a strong possibility that we close the weekly below the 50 today, people panic sell, and alts dump along with Bitcoin this evening. So that's why I say it might not be the worst idea in the world to hold your dry powder until that takes place. Again, it's not financial advice. It might just be a good idea, though. Danny's mega bullish. If only it were that easy, Rob. Just flip the switch already. Yeah. No bear market. Cesar also says, look at all the other indicators. It does not indicate a bear market. Yeah, if we went into a full-fledged bear market right now, guys, it would be the weirdest thing in the world in terms of these, markets. It would be no euphoria, no top signals went off, no nothing. It doesn't fit, right? Could we go into a little bit of a bear cycle where we spend like 6 to 8 weeks down? Of course, that happens many, many times in a cycle, right? But to go into a full-fledged, like, I hope this makes sense. We never reached max pumponomics, max euphoria, and max prices. So it doesn't make sense that we would reach max low levels. If we never reached max high levels, we're not going to reach max low levels, in my opinion. So, Adam, what's up, man? Myria to the moon, let's go. Divine Vibes, what's happening? Been loading my cookie. Nice. There you go. There you go. We got another super chat to get to. Chris, what's up, brother? Boom. Flexing on us, man. Flexing on us. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, Chris. David says, jazz me another day to DCA and fill your bags. There you go. Lions Den says, so the time frame you gave in the Patreon is still what you're thinking? Nothing's changed. Yeah, I gave my time frame this morning in the I think in the morning market overview, and also in the DCA portfolio video this morning over there as well. I think I put like 4 videos up on the Patreon this morning. So manipulation, markets are trying to make it seem like we're going into a bear market. It's working because most people are convinced we're going into a bear market. And let me know in the chat, what usually happens when the majority of people are convinced that the market's going in one direction? Let me know in the chat. If y'all aren't in the Patreon, what the hell are you doing? Exactly. It's 50% off right now, guys. It's the holiday season, so we decided to start it. How far do you think BTC can fall with a panic sell-off, brother? I mean, really, I think we'll fill the CME gap between 91 and 92K. Could we wick that? Here's the thing. 90 is probably going to be a pretty strong psychological level of support, so we might not. We're not going to close full body candles down at those levels, I don't think. But could we wick down and then come back up? 87 even? Yeah, we could, right? On a wick. So, but I think that the buying pressure, if that happened, would be astronomical, right? Very pleased with the strength of the back. There you go. Passenger, it's not a bear market. It's only a full trap. If that happens, full projects like Flux will go to $5 million market caps. That's not going to happen. Yes, exactly. My plan you can have on red days is don't sell. Yes. But sadly, a lot of people will. Nando says, is there a no turning back level for Myria? No, there's not. No, there's not, right? Too much paranoia out there right now. Like I said, I explained this morning when it comes to Myria, right? How quickly and how easily that project can turn around, right? Could Myria fade and die as a project? Of course it could. Any project could. Any altcoin could. One of the key factors there depends on whether the company is, maintaining solvency for starters, right? If they're financially equipped to handle it, then they'll be fine, right? Caesar doesn't know what he's talking about. He's been wrong all year. I will give Lark some credit. He called an extended cycle. Yeah. I don't mind Lark. Lark's a good dude. I think he has the best of intentions, and I like his stuff. I just think sometimes he's intellectually dishonest. Like, he'll make a video saying XRP is the worst thing in the world, and then the following week he'll make a video saying XRP is the greatest thing in the world, right? So I like him. I just think he can be intellectually dishonest sometimes about his actual position on projects. Carlos says, what's up, Rob? Are you able to reach out to the Myria team? I already have. Will you be live for the dip later tonight? Yes, I will. I will be live 3 times today. I'll be live later this afternoon, and I'll be live later tonight as well. So we pump hard. Yes. What do you think of Caesar's megaphone pattern? Well, Caesar is calling the megaphone pattern. So is Colin Talks Crypto, right? So it is a bullish structure for sure. But that just because it's in a bullish structure doesn't mean that there's 100% chance it breaks to the upside. Even bullish structures can break to the downside, and bearish structures can break to the upside, right? They can be invalidated. It's just that the odds are better that it breaks to the upside. So yes. But I know that Colin Talks Crypto is also referencing the megaphone pattern as well, and has been for a long time. So that's why I give you my money, my friend. I trust you. There you go. Dave says, hey, brother, man, I saw somebody saying we've been in a bear market for 6 months. Well, I mean, for altcoins, yeah. For altcoins, there's no doubt, right? So, but I mean, altcoins, theoretically, altcoins have been in a bear market for like a year, right? So we're seeing the odd altcoin pump. But that's not like a full blown out not a full blown bear market. It's a bear cycle inside of a 4-year cycle, right? Just like multiple times in a cycle, you'll see altcoin season on the altcoin season index hit probably 3 or 4 times, but that doesn't mean that it's the full out altcoin season. It's not the blow off top one, right? Same thing to the downside. You will see phases where everything's down in a cycle. It really does annoy me when people talk smack about Caesar, because if you pay attention, he's actually been quite correct a lot. Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people like to point out when somebody's wrong, but they never give credit when somebody's right, you know? So, but that's fine. That's fine. People will always be people, right? All right, let's get into the news here, guys. Well, it's been kind of more of a conversation today. I had to clear my throat. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, let's get into the news a little bit here. What's happening? SEC announces, you know what, I'm going to change my background color, guys, because you guys are probably getting blinded by how light my screen is right now. I'm going to go ahead and guess. Is that a little bit better? All right. SEC announces Project Crypto for clear cryptocurrency regulations. The U.S. SEC Chairman Paul Atkins has announced efforts to create a clear rule book for cryptocurrencies. This move aims to replace the previous regulation by enforcement approach, which has been seen as chaotic by industry leaders. So basically, like, it's going to stop the next Gary Gensler from being allowed to do a lot of the stuff that Gary was doing. They're putting rules and structure in place so that, because Gary was just being arbitrary and he was being vague, right? So they're making things very, very clear so that no one else can come into the SEC and pull the kind of garbage that Gary Gensler was pulling, right? The initiative known as Project Crypto is being undertaken in collaboration with the Commodities Futures, the CFTC, led by Acting Chair Caroline D. Pham. Both agencies are working to provide a coordinated regulatory framework for digital assets. Paul Atkins has emphasized that a major focus of his leadership is establishing clearer rules for issuing, holding, and trading crypto assets. The SEC aims to continue discouraging illicit activity while supporting growth and innovation in the crypto sector. Further insights can be gained from the SEC's press release about crypto projects. Atkins outlines his strategy during a policy address. The goal is to draft clear regulations for cryptocurrency operations, open to the public input. For more on this approach, view is Q. Yeah, so that's another thing that Gary Gensler was not doing. He was not allowing input timeframes for the public, right? Which was frustrating as well. The Fed's secret emergency huddle sparks fears and growing liquidity. Wall Street, check out. Just seen this. Yeah, I'll look it up in a minute. You know me. Thank you for all the content on the Patreon, Rob. You keep us informed every step of the way. Hey, absolutely. You know me. Absolutely. I want to make sure everybody knows exactly what's going on, right? You lost 2K on Floki. Only if you sold. Did you sell your Floki? Because if you sold it, then you lost. But if you're still holding it, you haven't lost anything, right? Personally, I don't hold Floki, but it's got a pretty big community. It seems like a decent meme coin. I don't get commercials on TV when I watch, but I also have YouTube Premium. Best $15 a month for free for digital monthly fee for exactly. That makes sense. Turn on the money printer, baby. Okay, so then you haven't lost. Then you're just holding it while it's down. That sucks. It sucks. It's discouraging. But I think you'll be okay, Big Pun. I think you'll be okay, brother. The CFTC acting chair, Caroline Pham, has also highlighted the importance of reducing unnecessary regulatory costs. The agency plans to focus on simplifying regulations and ensuring transparency under the Dodd-Frank Act. A joint initiative between the SEC and the CFTC aims to foster an environment that encourages innovation. The regulatory framework is expected to support U.S.-based tokenization or DeFi development and institutional investments. Previously, the SEC's approach relied heavily on enforcement actions. So, well, we all know Gary Gensler's BS, right? So, more bullish news, guys. The CFTC and the SEC working together to put frameworks in place and rules, not just for companies who want to innovate in the crypto sector, but also putting rules in place so that the next chair of the SEC or the CFTC cannot abuse their position and manipulate markets the way that Gary Gensler was. The man needs to be thrown in prison, in my opinion, right? What else do we have? Bitcoin turns into a long-term savings asset as Ethereum powers on-chain activity. A new study from Glassnode suggests that the two biggest assets in crypto now serve such different purposes that comparing them as similar investments is becoming less meaningful. Rather than circulating through the market, Bitcoin is increasingly disappearing into long-term storage. Wallets are moving coins off exchanges and into cold storage or multi-year holding patterns, and transaction activity involving older Bitcoin keeps shrinking. The report describes this behavior as exactly what Bitcoin's design intended, a monetary asset that people save rather than spend. Glassnode argues that this trend was always in motion even before this week's market decline. Bitcoin holders, on average, appear comfortable waiting out volatility instead of reacting to it, which positions Bitcoin as the ecosystem's slow-moving reserve asset rather than its transactional engine. That's one thing I would love everyone to take away from this. You need to be comfortable waiting out volatility instead of reacting to it, right? You can be emotional, you can feel that way. The best thing you can do when you're emotional, you're upset, you're angry, you're sad, you're whatever it is, when it comes to these days like this, the best thing you can do is nothing. Not buying anything, not selling anything. Because if you do something based on how you feel in that moment, even if you think you're not acting on emotion, do you know how often emotional people say, I'm only speaking facts, I'm only saying what I see? That's the slogan for the emotional person in crypto, right? So if you're feeling that way, the best thing you can do is nothing. Because if you sell because you're emotional and you're pissed off and you're angry at the market, you're angry at me, you're angry at whomever or whatever, and the market reverses in a few weeks and you have to buy back in at higher prices, how mad are you going to be because you acted on emotion? Don't make that mistake, guys. Not financial advice. Ethereum sits at the center of the active crypto economy, and Glassnode data reflects that constant movement. While Bitcoin is being tucked away, Ethereum is continuously pushing through smart contracts, DeFi platforms, tokenization systems, and everyday gas fees. More than anything, demand for block space, not speculation, keeps Ethereum circulating. This doesn't come from a lack of conviction. The report notes that the Ethereum supply used for staking or held through ETFs is growing. Still, high utility activity outweighs passive holding. In Glassnode's words, Ethereum behaves like fuel for the on-chain economy rather than a vault-style savings instrument. The most striking comparison is not trading volume, but how rarely investors touch their long-term reserves. Bitcoin holders have already committed to storing coins, barely move them. Ethereum holders in smaller long-term categories interact with their coins roughly 3 times more often. A gap large enough, so basically people are buying Bitcoin, storing it away, and continuing to accumulate it, right? And using it as a savings account almost, right? Instead of like a 401k or an RRSP or V, whatever, they're using Bitcoin as that savings account, which is, I mean, in my opinion, a genius idea at the end of the day. So, and Ethereum is being bought and sold and used for its utility, right? Completely different. So comparing them at this point, they become completely different use cases. So comparing them is what the article is saying doesn't make much sense. We got more. Braveheart says, Mama said there will be days like this. That's right. Mama said it bees like that sometimes. Quite a few people like that. Yeah, quite a few people like that everywhere. Solana Treasury and ETF holdings reached 3.44 billion. On November 16th, 2025, Blockbeat's news reports that the Solana Treasury Company and ETF collectively hold 24.201 million Solana, valued at approximately $3.44 billion. This substantial holding signifies strategic interest in Solana, potentially influencing its market stability and investor sentiment, though official confirmation from primary sources remains elusive. Strategic Solana reserve data indicates a substantial treasury expansion for Solana, with a total holdings of 24.201 million Solana by the Treasury and ETF, valued at approximately $3.44 billion as of November 16th, 2025. The move underscores Solana's strategic positioning in the cryptocurrency market, reflecting considerable investor confidence in its ecosystem. At this stage in our growth, collaboration with strategic investors has become crucial for network advancements, says this co-founder and CTO of Solana. According to CoinMarketCap, Solana currently trades at $136.87. With a market cap nearing $75.85 billion, the cryptocurrency has recently faced 4.36% decrease over the last 24 hours, extending it to minus 42.28% over the last 2 months. These trends reflect current market conditions as of November 16th, 2025. Analysts from CoinKu foresee potential regulatory interest due to such large treasury concentrations, considering past precedents with other major cryptocurrencies. While market dynamics remain complex, Solana's technological advancement may continue attracting investor attention. The research team highlights the importance of monitoring regulatory frameworks and technological integration as Solana's treasury impacts evolve. So Solana and XRP ETFs continue to see massive inflows, guys, right? Very, very bigly. Very bigly. What happened with the Doge millionaire guy? I watched his. I think his documentary is on Netflix, isn't it? He got up to something like $9 million worth of Dogecoin and then refused to sell it, and it dropped all the way back down to like $100,000 or something like that. So I think he's still holding. Metal Detecting England, what's going on? Trying to clear my throat. We got Hebos. Either we held it to the moon or down to the ground. Here, yes. Jay, say we do start moving again for a few weeks. Would that change your top for BTC? Maybe more bullish top? Maybe. We'd have to ride it day by day. ETFs do nothing. Yeah, I agree, Greg, but it is a barometer of adoption when it comes to crypto, though. It is a barometer for that. It doesn't do anything for the short-term price action, but it can do something for the long-term price action. As the Solana and XRP gets bought up and locked up, it lowers the supply over time. But that's what a lot of spot Bitcoin ETF maxis won't tell you is that while it's a bullish thing, it's going to take time for it to take effect. It's going to take time for your investments to mature. It doesn't happen overnight. You're absolutely right. Are you looking forward to going to Japan? I've been so busy making content that I haven't really had much time to think about it. And I have to take a day here in the next couple days because I leave next week. So I do have to take a day in the next couple days because I have to get everything ready, right, to go. So, yeah. Nobody's fooling me out of my bags. Do you know how much I sacrificed? Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right. Whale increases his Ethereum holdings by 1,760 ETH. So yesterday, November 15th, an unidentified cryptocurrency whale bought 1,760 Ethereum, valued at approximately $5.53 million, borrowing $9.41 million, as reported by on-chain analysts on Twitter. The whale's significant Ethereum purchase highlights ongoing accumulation amid market fluctuations, potentially supporting long-term price stability and influencing sentiment among large holders. A crypto whale executed a significant purchase of 1,760 Ethereum. Yes, we talked about that already. Immediate effects on the Ethereum market were minimal, without visible shifts in the total value locked or protocol flows. However, such accumulation might bolster price floors and support positive sentiment among large investors. The financial ramifications include increased whale influence over Ethereum liquidity with no impact on Bitcoin or alternative tokens. The purchase primarily underscores a sustained commitment to Ethereum's network. Similar whale behavior in recent weeks has signaled potential market confidence among institutional holders. This trend, highlighted by prior Ethereum accumulation, suggests sustained long-term backing for Ethereum. Absolutely. Big picture, guys. Big picture. I'm holding on to my Jasmine for dear life, hoping that we see a return to 5 cents. I have no doubt that we will. I have no doubt that we will. You deserve some time to get ready. I'm excited for you, brother. Yeah, I am excited. I'm getting excited. It's going to be a little nerve-wracking sitting there interviewing Hara in person, though, right? It's going to be a little bit nerve-wracking. All right, what else do we have? Bitcoin's mild downturn compared to 2022, experts assert. How long is the trip, man? I'll be there for a week. Just bought 28 million Miria. Let's go. Nice. I see that as a win. Only if you guys knew the days I stayed hungry deploying dry powder in the markets instead of deploying into my stomach. Well, make sure you're fed, my friend. Jack, make sure you're fed, brother. Ramen noodles, brother. Bitcoin recently dipped nearly, or get a job at McDonald's. I'm pretty sure they'll give you free hamburgers. That's why I'm going to go work at McDonald's for the free food, man. Forgot your trip. How's the hip? The hip's okay today. It's okay today. Bitcoin's recent dip nearly 7% 24-hour period to approximately $9,600. It's actually $94,000 right now, prompting industry leaders like Dragonfly's Hasib to reflect on market stability. Despite the drop, experts maintain that the cryptocurrency market remains fundamentally sound, experiencing minimal panic compared to the chaos of 2022. The recent Bitcoin downturn saw Bitcoin dip nearly 7% in a day, raising concerns among investors. However, industry leaders, managing partners, like the managing partner over at Dragonfly, assert this is a relatively mild crisis compared to the past crypto challenges. He emphasizes the strength of current market fundamentals amid the downturn. He reported no significant panic, contrasting with the dramatic events of 2022, marking this as the easiest bear market he has ever observed. Immediate effects seen include stability in protocols and the lack of mass exits from major stakeholders. Market participants are noted to be cautious but maintain confidence in the enduring principles supporting crypto assets. On the financial front, BlackRock-led Bitcoin ETFs experienced a withdrawal of 502.7 million, yet institutional investors shifted focus to stablecoins rather than exiting the market, indicating sustained interest despite volatility. Market conditions suggest avoidance of previous market collapses as seen in 2022. Volatility persists, but support structures improve market confidence, keeping ecosystem failure at bay. Institutional adoption trends signal potential recovery as investors prepare for future price rallies, with expert projections suggesting Bitcoin could surpass $150,000 in 2026. Historical analysis reinforces the strategy of long-term investment despite current market fluctuations. Be strong. It would be nerve-wracking for you, but just know you have a whole community behind you. Thank you so much, Metal Detecting England. I appreciate that. I will be live streaming from Japan, by the way, guys. I'm bringing my my laptop with me, so I will be doing a lot of live streaming from there, keeping you guys up to date with everything that's going on. So, 7-Eleven hot dogs all day. Exactly. My hips don't lie and Rob's don't either. There you go. Nice. All right, we got more to get through here. Let's see if we can find one more piece here. I just want to look up what I can't remember. Somebody mentioned a news piece. Let me just see what it is here. I can't remember what it was now. Who told me to look that up? What was the piece again? Bear with me, guys. Bear with me here. Seeing a lot of ZBEX stuff, a lot of SwiftCoin stuff going on. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see any. Significant news over on X. We got emergency Fed meeting. Right. Thank you, O House. Yes. I'm not seeing anything about an emergency Fed meeting over on X, though. I see breaking news. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink says crypto will hit $15 trillion this cycle. That's what Larry Fink is calling for. I think that's a little bit steep, but I digress, right? Yeah, I still can't find any news on that. Maybe I'll talk about it. I'll look it up. I'll talk about it in the live stream later this afternoon, and we'll see. We'll see what we see. But yeah, I can't find anything about an emergency Fed meeting. What would the emergency be? Is the stock market crashing too? Let's go have a look. I mean, look at silver right now. Talk about a double top. Like, this is going down hard. Silver is going to go down pretty hard, right? I think silver is coming back down probably somewhere around 39. If silver, I hope silver takes a dump. I hope silver works its way back down here to the 50 week, because if it does, I'll start scooping up maples like crazy, right? So, but let's go look at the S&P 500 SPX. Yeah, we came close to the top that I called. We came pretty close. I haven't looked at this in quite a while, though. Well, the stock market's not really crashing right now. The SPX isn't. So I don't know why the Fed would be having an emergency meeting. Let me see any other. No, yeah. See, it's what's gold doing? Yeah, look at that. See that circle there? That's when I told everybody to sell their gold. Everyone was like, should I buy gold here? I was like, no, you should not buy gold here. Look, we're topping. Sure enough, look at now we've had a dead cat bounce. Same thing with gold. If gold comes back down to the 50-week moving average here, this blue line, I'd start scooping gold up too. I think you'll probably end up seeing gold hitting support around there, right around $3,445, $3,450. And hopefully gold can use that as its new support level. As you can see, it was significant as resistance here from April until September. It bounced off there, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 times before it finally broke out on the 5th attempt. So, but anyway, guys, I got some coaching calls to get to over on the Patreon. Get over there, book your coaching calls. Guys, 50% off right now on the Patreon, and I just dropped 4 new trades over in the trading group on the Patreon. So check that out. You can book one-on-one coaching calls, or you can join our group coaching calls. We're live. We have all kinds of exclusive content over there. Our morning market overviews on what we think the market's doing, our DCA portfolio structure course, and everything else. Check it all out, guys. Again, it's 50% off using the code in the chat and in the pinned comments. I will see you guys later. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. See you guys later. God bless.